Let's welcome Jason back and kind of reward him for that great job he did this morning. Jason Irwin from Port Elgin, Ontario. 45 minutes starting now.
So I got introduced as Trevor, so on Trevor's behalf, I'm going to quit the competition, and then Jason's going to start now. So we'll go ahead and get rolling here.
I was just interviewing Jason, and I called him Trevor, so
Yeah, no worries.
something's going on. It must be the medication. Yeah. Okay. I think I need it.
So I'm just going to take this filly here. I'm just going to do a tiny bit of groundwork before I get under saddle. I want a little bit more forward motion out of this filly, so I don't really want to burn up a lot of her energy doing too much quick stuff on the ground, just because actually I feel like I need it more under saddle than I do on the ground. So I'm just going to do a little quick check, make sure she's doing everything that I want her to do. Little switcheroo here. Make sure she's going both ways. It's good with the hindquarters. I'm going to bring her to me. Make sure she stops when she's supposed to. Come to me. Make sure that she comes to me a little bit quicker when I want her to. Head the other direction. That's pretty decent. Checking over here. Pulls. Tarp. Different color of tarp. I think she noticed a different color. Good. So I'm happy with the little quick checklist there of things. And this filly, she is, I think, a very good-minded thing. She's nice to get along with, but you can kind of see sometimes if I move a little quick or she sees something new, she's definitely not oblivious to it. That if you approach her sort of in the wrong way with things, she could still, I don't think she can do anything mean, but she still needs to kind of have her moment to learn things, just to see that everything is okay. Take here. Again, you kind of see where that touched her just a little quick. I'm just going to make it where it's a little harder for her to walk off. And again, I could have done a little more groundwork, and I think kind of had her stand just a little bit better. But I want to get the saddle on because I kind of got to get using her energy slightly differently. A lot of times when I first start to do her up, you can see she doesn't love it yet. So I'm going to do it tight enough that that saddle will stay there. Yet I'm not going to get greedy and try to think I'm going to cinch her all the way on the first shot. I don't want that stirrup to drop down on her and scare her, so I'll get that down. I'm just going to have her move out here. Then I'm going to tighten the saddle a few notches. So again, I'm not going to ask her to go for long lengths of time. I just want her to step out really willingly when I ask her to, and then I'm just going to let her slow down again. Instead of me just racing around after her, I'll just ask for a bit, then stop, then ask her for a bit.
What kind will you ask her for? A snaffle, a curb?
What's that, sorry?
You said you'd ask her for a bit. I'm just wondering if it's a snaffle or a, a long shank curb or what kind.
Yeah. I think we'll go with the smooth snaffle on this one.
All right.
And that's, she loped out there a little bit better than she has other sessions. So I just want her to do this again.
Ooh, that looks so nice.
That was a lot better. So I'm very happy with that part.
Some folks have been asking how the auction is going to work for these fillies. And the way it works is you go to the Rockin' Heart booth, that's 3512 right over there, and register, and Melody will give you a bidding card. And then you'll be all set to go. Go home with your best new horse.
I'm just going to put her snaffle on there. Now she does get a little bit resistant to this. A few people asked me about using the bit versus the rope halter or hackamore, and I think every one of those things can be used really well, and I think it's sort of a matter of personal preference. I like this bit, and I like it on her because I think in here she's resisting it a little bit. However, I think in the big area I'll have maybe just a little bit more steering than I would, because she is a little bit through the head and the neck there. Sometimes when she wants to do something, she just kind of goes ahead and does it. So I feel like I'll maybe have a little more control in the big area with this, but having said that, I think any one of those is fine. So normally I like them to stand still when I get on, so I'll just kind of pause her here for 1 second. And I'm just gonna, I felt that saddle move a little more than I want it to. Kind of step up here. Same as before. Just kind of pet and go. And we'll just kind of cruise around here for a second. I'm not going to put much pressure on her for the first minute. I might just play with some simple steering. I'll just pick up on her and let her kind of guide. She sometimes likes to get stuck over here, so I'm going to try to keep her moving out. I always like to start off the rides quite slow. Now, if it's a really hot horse, I'll ride around slow for a minute and then kind of get to work a little faster. A lazy horse, you can ride around, I think, slower for a while longer. Her, though, she just gets stuck, so I'm just going to try to, I don't want to go fast, but I don't want to get jammed up too much here either, like exactly what I'm describing. There. So she kind of got a little stuck there for a second. But then I'll just ride out. Just going to make a quick adjustment. Get that out of my way. So I'm going to ask this filly to start trotting here in just a second. So happy with that trot the one way. Ask her to trot the other way. Did you all hold your breath at the same time? Good. And if your horse doesn't stop, aim at a blue tarp and they will stop. It's not all that tricky. So I'm happy with that part. I'm just going to play around here for a second with getting this mare to bend around and flex a little bit. That way there. Right there. Right there. Now she's a little bracier on this side. I'm just going to hold and wait. There. Even though she didn't come completely to a stop, she did give, I released on that note. Next time, hopefully it would be a little bit smoother, like that. So I just little improvements as we go along. Now with her, she kind of goes along, does well, but then gets a little sick of most things. So what I'm going to do is move from one thing to the next fairly quick. Now, I have to get this mare, I think, loping out a little bit more than we have been. So I'm going to go out here. I may hold on just a little bit snugger when I do it, just because she does have a tendency to go up just a tiny little bit.
That's an interesting bird call.
That's exactly what I wanted to have happen. Now we're just going to get up here again. Now we're jumping. Good. Just come back. And I'm just going to rub on her quite a bit. When she's at a standstill here, I don't care how long they canter for. I just care that she did it. So I'm going to go out here and go this way. Nope, 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 nope. She keeps trying to turn back the other way. There.
Oh, does that look pretty? Oh.
I'm going to stop on that note. I'm just going to take here for a second. I'm going to flex around again. Now I'm going to start getting ready to start getting this mare to learn to move off of leg pressure. So what I'm going to do at some point, I'm going to bring her face around, hold it there, slide my leg back, and start applying just a little bit of pressure. And I want her hip to swing over here. There. That wasn't a real big one, but she did get her hip over a bit. She kind of walked in a circle first, mind you. But we want these horses soft. Having said that, they're soft through the face, but they're soft through the body. So I want to take and get her moving body parts around here, because this isn't something I think she's naturally loving the idea of. So I'm just going to pick up on her and move the hip sort of like so. And then I'm just going to let her walk out of it again. I want that to be the last thing she thought about, was she moved her hip over, and then I gave her complete release on that note. So I'm just going to come around over here. I'm going to mess with it on this side for a second. There. Leg back. And she doesn't love this part, but I'm just going to kind of hold in there. There. Not very much. She kind of moved her hip over one step. But I was just kind of looking for something to reward. So I'm going to pick up on her again. Hip over just a tiny bit. And now we're just going to get out of this one entirely. I don't want to get stuck here because this is one she kind of has just a little bit of trouble with. So I just want to do it for small little parts at a time.
30 minutes to go, Jason. 30 minutes.
The water splashed her. She's saying that might be deeper than I thought it was. If we get a little too stuck here, I'll just get off and I'll just walk her over it. If I can get this done, that's great. She's like, I'm wetting my toes. Did you know that blue roans don't like water? It's a scientific fact. I'm just going to stop for 1 second, make a little change here.
What do they drink then, if they don't like water?
There.
Not responding.
Good. So I'm happy with that part. I'll take it in a few minutes and get back on and go over it, but I don't really care at this moment.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
No, go ahead. I'm just going to throw a breast collar on her. I don't really think she needs it, but it's just one more thing I can sort of get her used to.
Thinking if blue roans don't like water, what do they drink? And Mark says probably Labatt's Blue. I'm just going to take and throw this on here. Not going to do it all that snug. And then we'll go ahead and get back to this here. So I'm just going to play around on the ground for just a second, asking this mare to back up on the ground because I want her giving a little bit more to the bridle. There. There. Good. Now I'm going to switch over, and I'm going to start getting her ready to drag something. So I'm going to take this lariat here. I'm going to put it around her butt, much as I did the other day. I'm just going to let her feel that for just a second. Okay, good. And then I'm going to switch over, and I'm just going to grab a little log here. Now, some of you maybe were here the first day where I said about introducing scary things to your horse and how I like to go about it. What I'm going to do is have her kind of walk towards the log as the log is moving. So what I'm going to do to make that happen is I'm just going to have her follow it. She's following faster. That's not really following anymore. Watch out for the bridge.
Yeah. And then I'm gradually going to let that get a little farther out behind her. Kind of like so. So now it's getting past her. And then I'll just give her little breaks because I don't want her stress level to keep increasing. I want to get a little bit of something done and then go away again. So I'm just going to go again here. And you can see her watching that pretty good. And then I'm just going to have it fade out behind her a little bit. Then what I'm going to do is take my rope, put it like so. I'm going to have her semi-lunge, semi-lead around me. just going to do that part again. And I'm just going to do this for just a second. I didn't want to end. No, I know it's going to bump. I'm just going to do it enough that I've just touched on it. And then I'm going to mainly worry about this one tomorrow. I just kind of wanted to get something going there. So good with that. Just going to take her over here. I'm going to put her on the bridge. Oop. Take her around again. Put her on again. Oop. Same as before. Once I get her up there, I'm just going to let her stand, let her relax, let her just kind of take it cool for a minute. I really want her to think that that bridge is the nicest thing in the world. So just give her a minute with that one. I am just going to take her bridle off here for a minute. So I'm going to bring her around. Then I'm going to go the opposite way. I don't really care if I get her all the way on, but I just want to get started real cool with it. Now I'm just going to wait a second. And then instead of trying to get her all the way on, I'm just going to let her walk all the way off because I maybe could have got her back end on, but I'm not positive that I could have. So happy with that. So I'm just going to come around here again. If I can get her all the way on, that's absolutely great. If I get part of her on, I'm still in a good humor. Oh, getting a little crooked. 3.5. And again, same as before. I'm just going to let her kind of relax. Kind of scratch her when she's there. Let her think that that was the best place in the world to be. Good. I'm just going to go around here. I'm going to ask her just to take a couple backup steps like this. Because when I'm working on the backup with her, she kind of resists with her face. So I'm just going to try working on backing up without touching her face at all. So I'm just going to pick up on her, have her take a little step backwards. And this way I can kind of teach her the back, maybe minus that little bit of an argument. And she was resisting in the face a little bit more this afternoon. She wasn't really doing that up till now. So if she is a little bit uncomfortable there, I can switch over and use the rope halter or use the soft roping hackamore. So I'm not stuck on the bit. I just generally go to it just because that's what I'm used to. But at the same time, I don't feel that it's absolutely important. Good. So happy with that part. Very small little thing, but it's still just her giving in one more way. I'm going to go around here. Put this crop on. And I'm just going to run an experiment. And I'm going to see if she'd be a little happier riding in this rig, because I do think, again, you always want to be able to change things. I felt like I liked the snaffle better just because I felt I'd have a little more control. But then again, sometimes later in the day, they start getting just a little bit sour or a little bit cranky. And instead of resisting that, I could just get out of her face, and I might be able to get the same thing done without. So just give it a whirl. We kind of see what she does better with. Good. I'll just have her step out here. Now, I am gonna have to play around with the steering again because I've kind of taught her to steer with the bridle, so I have to kind of see if I can get it done with this, with the soft reins here. Pick up on her, turn, still turning, here, and turn, and turn. Give her a second just to mull this over, and then I'm gonna ask her for a little bit more forward again. So I'm not necessarily trying to get her to canter at the moment, I just want her to move out at the free trot, but hold it a little bit longer. I'm gonna pick up on her and ask her to stop. Thank you. Now I'm gonna pick up on her, ask her to back up. It wasn't much of a backup, I gotta admit. Pick up on her again. Ask her to back up, good. And then I'm gonna go off the other way. And again, this is the kind of that stickiness, so I'm kind of stuck on this one thing. I want to get more forward motion this round, just because this is her main little deal. She's super nice, she just isn't the most forward horse, and I need a little bit more forward than what I've been getting. So that's pretty good. I'm just gonna pick up on the back up again. There, 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 there. And I give those little releases between each step, and you can start building up to more steps like that. So I'm happy with that part. I'm just gonna take here, and I'm kind of switching back and forth. I'm jumping on and off because I want to touch on a number of things for just little brief periods of time. One of the things we do have to do is get them to go over raised poles, so poles that are up higher in the air. So what I'm gonna do here is get this stuff out of the way. Also, to prepare for the trailer loading, usually the trailer is not gonna have a wood floor, have like a kind of a rubber colored one, black floor or something like that. So I'm gonna cover this up to also get her where she'll go over something that doesn't look exactly like the old pallets did. You kind of see her just kind of thinking that over. So I'm just gonna scratch her here and pet on her for a minute. Then I'm just gonna let her off. Walk her up on it again. Good. Definitely want to pet on her for that. Bring her down. Now I'm gonna take these little poles, which she's been crossing very well. I'm just gonna set them up like so. And I want to make sure she's going to be fine with this. And she's been doing pretty good with poles, so I think we're probably going to get it done. Maybe shouldn't speak too quick. Good. So happy with that. Good. You happy about that part? Now, something else I guess we got to do is get up to a mailbox or pick something up off the fence. So I'm just going to throw something on the fence here, and I'm going to make a point. Over the next little bit, I'm going to ride up and stop by that quite a bit, because I want to get it where I can reach out and touch something a little bit scary. Hopefully this kind of helps my cause. So I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to touch on her feet for just a minute. Going to hold the front, put her down. The back, she's not quite as keen on, so I'll touch on it. But if it doesn't go as well, I'll leave that part to later in the session. So I'm just going to rub down her foot. She wants to keep walking, so I'm just going to kind of walk with her.
15 minutes now. Jason, 15.
Okay. I'm just going to switch to the other front foot. Good. I'm just going to leave the back ones for the moment here. And I'm just, again, going to go back on her. And I'm going to play around with a little bit of steering again, just with this different outfit, kind of as a test to see which one would be the better one to go with. Now, this afternoon, I think it's safe to say, this one she was doing a little bit better with, so we may stick with this. Oh, sorry, girl. Step out here. Back her up so that front foot is a little farther out. Good. Okay, go sideways. Let's give her a second. We're just gonna kind of move up here. She doesn't quite want to go. I maybe should have moved that pole earlier. And I'll just give her a second. And I would obviously like just to walk the front feet up on here. Good. So a lot of this afternoon session, I'm not doing a bunch of new stuff. I'm just kind of checking on all the things we've done up to this point. Some of them, I feel like most of them are getting better. I just want to do this session pretty slow. What's going to happen is because we've had 2 sessions in one day, sometimes on the second session, they start kind of dying out a little bit on you. And being honest, I need more horse tomorrow than I need today. So I don't want to burn up too much. And I'll stop with the back end on. That was on purpose. Actually, it was half on purpose. I thought she was going to do it anyways, and I thought I could take advantage of it. Halfway. Like so. And again, just going to pet on her a lot. And I'm just going to give her a minute here. Just because, again, I'm not trying to burn up a ton of steam. Does anybody have any questions? I could just enough time to take 1 or 2 if anyone's got one. Is it going that good or that bad? Here. Okay. So, sorry, somebody's pointing. Why'd you have to sit way over there? I was looking that way. Does no one over here want to learn anything? What? Am I using what, sorry, each way? Seat bones? Okay. On that note, generally what I don't use a whole lot of weight shifting in the beginning just because I find the colts don't understand it a whole lot. So my thing is, if I sit perfectly straight, I know I'm not going to at least be leaning the wrong way. I know you can help them sometimes by doing it, but I tend to look at it as I'm just going to stay out of their way as far as weight goes. Also, sometimes with the colts, in their first few rides, you don't know what they're going to do. So if they go one way or the other, if I'm straight up and down, I have a little better chance of still being on at the end. So once they've got a week or 2 on them, then I might use my weight just a little bit more. Does that kind of answer that? Okay. I'm just going to tie this rope up one more because I don't want it to swing up and slap her. So I'm just going to step out here again. I'm just going to play around with moving her out. Again, she's getting a little stuck here today.
10 minutes to go now, Jason. 10 minutes.
Good. So I would like her to canter here on a completely slack rein if I could get it done. I don't really care which direction. Sorry about that. So that wasn't amazing, but pretty good. I'll stop. I'm gonna try backing up just by picking up on this. Back, 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 and one more. Good. What's that? Okay. Now you went and done it. You said ride her bridleless. If I die, you are so getting the bill. So I'm just gonna.
Can you believe what you're seeing here? Not even
steer. Actually, I'm gonna lie. I'm not gonna steer at all. We're just gonna get going here.
not even a neck rope.
I was gonna cruise around. Holy moly! I hope that goes good. Let's see if we can pull this one off. I wanted to stop right here.
Of course.
I'm just gonna play around. I'm just gonna let her walk. You can kind of see she's a little bit, she's still kind of shaking her face and stuff. So, like, honestly, if you go home and do this tomorrow, it was not my idea. It was hers. Now, I don't feel that this is maybe the best idea that I want you to go home and ride around like this, but again, this mare, you kind of see her playing with her face a little bit in the start. That's kind of where she carries her tension, so I got away from that by putting the halter and the lead rope on. However, I am kind of liking the fact that we are moving around without me messing with her face at all. So sometimes if you have one that is a little bit resistant that way, you can do a little bit of this, don't take the bridle off, but just take the reins, time around your horn, and just kind of ride around free. A lot of times if you have a horse that has a little bit of tension in them, that little feeling of freedom and like they have, not control, but they have no stress on them, can let them kind of let down and help your cause a little bit here. And this is how we flex to that side. I only like to flex one way when I'm riding bridleless, just so you know. We are so going to stop at everything. Now, I'm trying to be tricky here. So same deal, when they stand still, I'm just going to scratch and rub on them, let them relax. Try my little whip routine. Just going to pop lightly and then pet her. Lightly, and then pet her. Stop and pet her. I'll just do this a couple more times. I don't want to overdo it. I overdid it. And now I'm just going to basically take the last couple minutes here. I'm not really worrying again, just because I did have a slightly different plan in mind when I came in here. However, just because I feel like I could kind of creep over the line into pushing on her a little bit more than what I want to, I'm just basically kind of looking for really low-key, relaxed things that we can play with. Like that.
There she flexed nicely to the left, to the right.
Yeah.
5
See
minutes.
if I could flex the other way.
There you go.
Flex.
5 minutes.
See if I can flex this way. And I meant back up when I said flex. So again, I'm just going to cruise around. See if I can get her to canter here. I am so good at this that usually within 30 seconds I can tell you whether taking the bridle off was a good idea or not. So. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to move that rope over there. It is getting in our way.
Stands nicely for mounting.
Yep.
With nothing but a breast collar.
Oh.
Oh.
It's so much funnier when it's not you up here, isn't it? It's like, if it was me, that would suck. And then we're going to stop. No, we're not. We're going to go faster. And I got to stop. I'll see if I can get her to back up one step. There. Maybe a little bit more. That's going to have to do. Now, part of this, if everybody was here for the first session, she did buck pretty good with the saddle on, not for a long length of time, but she went up. Yesterday, I think she did a little bit in the afternoon. This morning, she gave a few jumps with me. Now, this one here, there is no hiding the fact. If she wanted to turn around and buck with me, I would love to say that I'm good enough to still be on here, but probably I wouldn't. And that, if I'm being totally honest, so this is sort of a test. Not that this, again, it was exactly what I was planning on doing, but the fact that she was going around with it, she's had every opportunity to do the wrong thing, and she's done pretty much the right thing. Again, you want to see how we lay down? Was that the question?
She's telling you you've got 2 minutes left.
Okay.
She can even read the clock.
I'm gonna go for her little bridge routine again if I could. I might be pushing my luck. I really like that person less and less. As I'm going along, you should have stayed home. I have 1 minute or 2 minutes?
1.5.
Okay, I think I'm gonna skip the part where I worry about the bridge. I'm just gonna step off her. I think we'll kind of end on this note here. Nah, this was a more fun note to end on. So again, with her, I'm really happy. I just was gonna work on more maneuvers and stuff like this. I kind of felt like she was a little bit done for the day on that type of thing. So I do think this part here, just kind of having her a little bit more relaxed for me, will set me up better tomorrow than it would if I kind of pushed on her a little bit more this afternoon. So I'm happy with her note she's finished with. And I think we'll leave it at that one.
All right, Jason Irwin and the amazing McBride. Wow, what an amazing performance. And we've got another one coming up in 15 minutes with Cade Mills.